It is time for me to invite the presiding officer for today's meeting. He's like a torchbearer, inspiring people around him, always there to fill in any position that is to be filled in a meeting. We are very much blessed and grateful to have this diligent personality as a member of our club. I welcome our dedicated and hardworking Vice President of Education, Tim Ravi Kumar Nair, as our presiding officer for today's meeting. Over to the presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmasters Shrestha, for that overwhelming introduction. Fellow Toastmasters, good evening.
Good evening.
Can you introduce our guests?
Dear President, we have as guest Mr. Emmanuel, who was recommended by Anthony Chaitan. Welcome, Mr. Emmanuel.
Welcome, Mr. Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Yes, and we have Mr.
Good evening.
Hi,
Good
Anthony
evening.
Chaitan.
I can see Anthony Chaitan is here. Welcome, Anthony Chaitan.
And I have my brother Helibius, who is joining. And
welcome.
And we have the president of Alapi Toastmasters, Mr. Sajakumar Nair.
Welcome, Toastmaster Sajakumar.
Yeah.
Welcome all the guests. Let us give a big round of applause to all the guests present here and
we have Mr. Retilash
sparing your valuable time with us.
We have Mr. Retilash. Can Mr. Retilash introduce himself? Or
welcome.
Yeah.
Any other guests? Okay, let's give a big round of applause to all of them. Thank you very much for joining with us today. Now let's start. Dear fellow Toastmasters, today let me narrate a small story from a movie titled Guru, which inspired me a lot. This movie was released in '97, very old one. And the hero character was played by Mohanlal. The story goes like this. The hero starts out as a young man prone to violence and goes through a spiritual experience later in presence of a devout woman. In a dreamlike state, he reaches a place where the people are all blind. He tells the people about vision, but the people, having never heard of vision, disbelieves him. Finally, in the movie, he finds the reason for the people's blindness and finds its natural cure. In this process, he undergoes a spiritual transformation akin to awakening of his inner eye. Aren't we in a world like that? We don't agree to a concept unless we experience the same. Don't you think our ancient gurus were trying to teach us something that we don't know, but only a few of them listened and followed? The character played by Mohanlal reminds us of the ways to overcome insularity and narrow-mindedness with the help of a guru. I do agree that authentic gurus are hard to find nowadays. However, we can make a deliberate attempt to keep our eyes and ears open by stepping outside our comfort zones. And in today's meeting, we are going to have two workshops, which is intended to take us outside the way we normally perceive things. Let's pay attention to what the presenters have to say and objectively try to find the merits in them, in the true spirit of collective learning. So with that, let us introduce the Toastmaster of the day today. Our Toastmaster of the day today is a gentleman who has started his career as a police officer, who turned out to be an engineer later. He is working in Sadara Petrochemicals. He has won many accolades in club and area level juniors championships. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, let us have a big applause to welcome Toastmaster Rajesh Balakrishnan. Toastmaster Rajesh Balakrishnan, the word code is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer, for the wonderful introduction and the great message what we will see today. Today I introduce the theme of the meeting as confront the brutal facts. So moving towards that, I like to ask one question to all of you. What are normally takeaway from Toastmaster meetings? Can any three people can share your thoughts? What do you normally expect from a Toastmaster meeting?
Learning
Yes.
messages to take back.
Okay.
Culmination of
Any others?
like-minded, culmination
Any
of
others?
like-minded,
Okay.
culmination of like-minded people.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's they were great thoughts. So we are getting all these things in the meetings, as we all know. So I have some comments. In my view, during Toastmaster meeting, we also get a new word. In every meeting, we will get a new word. Then some new thoughts and new approaches. Today, we are blessed to have two wonderful sessions. So we will surely get new approach and surely we will get a new word. So today my effort is to introduce a book. The major concepts are shared throughout the meeting, and I will reveal the book title in the end. And I will give a chance to guess the title also, if any of you gone through this book. So be attentive and you can have a chance to guess the book title. So let us start. So in this book, the concepts are proven for personal mastery and making a great family or a big corporation, whatever you like. So I will share one of my experience. Last Sunday, I had a lot of stress at office from customers, colleagues, and also the management. By noon, I was frustrated with negative self-talks about my ability to tackle the situation. I think most of us have this situation in one day or other. Then I like to introduce a person. Maybe some of you heard and some others not. His name is Admiral Jim Stockdale, who was the highest ranking United States military officer in a war camp during the height of Vietnam War. He was tortured over 20 times during his 8-year imprisonment. He lived out the war without any prisoner's right, no set release date. He was not sure whether he will be released and he will be united to the family. Now, after this, there is even a term called Stockdale paradox. You must maintain, in the main content is, you must maintain unwavering faith that you can and will prevail at the end, regardless of the difficulties. And at the same time, have the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality and whatever it might be. In this book, the author interviewed the Stockdale, the admiral, and he asked, in his experience, who all are not made till the end. Okay, so during this torture sessions, he was not alone. There were some other people with him. So who all are not make till the end? So he replied, the optimist. So he became confused, as we learned and heard that optimism is the best way to face the things. Then Stockdale clarified, this is very important lesson. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose. And with discipline to confront the most brutal facts. But the optimist, what he normally think, okay, you will be get free by this Easter, this Christmas, and he get desperate that it will not happen. But actually the idea is whenever, whatever, you will get to the good end. That is the fact. So the idea is accept and understand what are the current reality or confront the brutal facts. Say for example, in this book, he identified like 11 companies, how they become great. And in this process, they identify, I can say many of the companies we didn't hear, but one of them is Gillette. So Gillette confront what are their main brutal conditions at that situation and won the current market share by confront the brutal facts. By saying that, let us move to our education session. Today we have a grammarian and wordmaster. He's a great personality. He's always dedicated for Toastmaster for handling any of situations and positions in Toastmaster speech. Fellow Toastmasters, please help me welcome DTM Shivadas Bhaskaran to the online platform to explain his role as grammarian and wordmaster. So, Mr. DTM Shivadas Bhaskaran, the podium is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, for that precious words. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, Area 69 Director, Toastmaster Dr. Shanti Rekha, my dear fellow leaders. Good evening to one and all. Today, I am carrying the dual role. First one is wordmaster and second one is grammarian. As the wordmaster, I have to introduce a word of the day and explain the different usages of the word with proper illustrations. And my role as the grammarian is to carefully listen to each speakers and take note of the good and bad usage of the language, incorrect grammar and awkward use of the language, etc. I also have to take note of the correct usage of the word of the day and present my complete report when called upon by the general evaluator. Today, my word of the day is sagacious. Having or showing mental discriminant and good judgment or wise. The meaning of this word sagacious is wise, clever, intelligent. And it can be used in the following way. They were sagacious enough to avoid any outright confrontations. I am always admired by the sagacious evaluation technique of both distinguished Toastmaster Dr. R.J. George and distinguished Toastmaster Harish Bhargavan. I appeal all of you to use of the word sagacious in appropriate area. Thank you. Back to the sagacious Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rajesh Bharat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sagacious Toastmaster DTM Shivadas Bhaskaran, for that wonderful session and introduce a new word. I also urge all the team to use this word throughout the meeting. So going throughout the session, the next part is from that book is first who, then what. The best companies will always first hire the best people. Once they have best people, they will naturally go the best. What are the best thing we can do? This is the true personal level in all. Even in personal level, if we met some people that will give us energy and some will drain us. So we know how to select good friends. So always the thing is first to select the best people. By saying that, let us move to the other session. So today the Toastmaster session is handled by one of the most experienced person in the Jubail fraternity, TM Harikumar, who loves to read many good books, especially in area of spirituality. Toastmaster Harikumar, could you please acknowledge your presence and explain your role as table topic master? I think Toastmaster Harikumar, you are mute.
Please unmute.
Toastmasters of the day, sagacious Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Warm good evening to all of you. My role as TT Master today is to present topic in front of you where the people who are selected or who are coming forward willingly will come forward and talk on the particular subject. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harikumar, for that that wonderful speech about the role of today in Toastmaster TT session. So first, then we talk about the book. We just for awareness, whoever joined late, we are introducing a book throughout the session. So like I am sharing the main contents of the book throughout the session. So in that process, first we thought about the people. So in a successful organization, even it is a family, the main thing is disciplined people. We need to have discipline. First we identify the best people, then it comes the disciplined thoughts. There is a famous analogy for a hedgehog with fox. You all know fox knows many things, but a hedgehog know one thing only, and he again battle against fox and win the battle. So the main idea is to identify one core competency or idea in a business and develop the business around that idea. In this, like Gillette identified their hedgehog idea as the best technology racers and not concentrating on a cheap level. They were concentrate on Mach 3 and all other technology. By that process, they outcast 7 o'clock Supermax. Nowadays, even we don't hear about these brands. By the next main main topic is today that timers session is carried out by Toastmaster Sabu Cletus. He's well known. He's an energetic personality, always gives a spark and vigor in his speech. Toastmaster Sabu Cletus, could you please acknowledge your presence and explain your role as timer?
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Sagacious Toastmasters Rajesh Balakrishnan, and fellow Toastmasters, guests, a warm good evening. My role as the timer today is to keep track of the time for the special event and workshop, TT session, table topic session, and table topic evaluation. For a special session, time allotted is 30 minutes. And for table topic, speakers can use, or the time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes with a grace period or 30 seconds on her side. For the table topic evaluation, time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes. I will report the exact time taken by each participant at the end of each session when called upon to do so. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Rajesh Balakrishnan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sabu Cletus. So we already seen the disciplined people, disciplined thoughts. Once we have disciplined people and thoughts, we will automatically have disciplined actions. By saying that tonight's vote counter and Sue Master is Toastmaster Ravi Nair, our young entrepreneur who always approach for different projects in a way that will not able to say no, especially like today's case. And that is the best quality of entrepreneurship. Toastmaster Ravi Nair, could you please acknowledge your presence and explain your role as Sue Master and vote counter?
Sagacious Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, warm good evening once again. Today my role as Zoom Master is to conduct the Zoom meeting without any obstructions from start to end. And as vote counter, I will be conducting the e-poll and will announce the result when asked upon to do so. Over to you, Toastmaster Rajesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ravi Nair. Great companies adopt new technologies. Now we forgot Nokia, one of the time the most popular, and now we only heard about Samsung. The truth is Nokia forgot to adopt new changes. By saying that today we have two mind-provoking educational sessions conducting by two veterans. We all are eagerly waiting for that. I am sure DTM Harish Bhargavan will reveal some great tips that can lead to finding fun in learning. DTM Harish Bhargavan successfully conducted 7 sessions on emotional intelligence, and he's doing the 8 sessions in fun learning, mind and medicine. So over to you, DTM Harish Bhargavan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, for that wonderful introduction. I am so much inspired to have many distinguished guests present today. We have Anthony Chaitan with us. We have DTM Sadagovan with us. We have Mr. Emmanuel. We have my very good friend Yusuf Aga. My another good friend, very good friend Shajesh. And Mr. Tariq Ali, thank you for joining. And I don't know who is SM. If it would be great if SM can rename or reveal the identity. And there was Mr. Ratilash also. If you could introduce yourself, that'd be great. And before we start the session, my request to all, please, if you have any doubt, please feel free to stop me and ask then and there itself. Otherwise, we are going to have a dedicated session for question and answer. So in case you happen to have some question and if you don't want to disturb the flow, please do note it down and ask it later on, because we have some time at our disposal today. Unusual for a Toastmasters meeting. Today, our VP Education has told me that we can afford to extend this presentation by a few more minutes if necessary. So with that, I think let us start. Okay, so this is the 8th session. As usual, let us go through a quick recap of what we have gone through in the previous sessions. And this is based on the best-selling book on emotional intelligence by Daniel Goleman. And it is thanks to the popularity of that book that all of us, we know about emotional intelligence, but I haven't seen a program that goes into the depth of it. This is a very important topic. That's why I got into this project of going through it, reading the pages of it, and then coming and talking about it in a 10 workshop series. Essentially what it says is that the present day education system focuses on intelligence quotient, that is IQ. But the issue here is IQ the effect of IQ in determining a person's success is seen to be only 20%. Because most people who get into a job or who get started with an enterprise, they will have minimum a threshold level of IQ will be there. So IQ has a floor effect. It will help us get entry into a job or to get started with an enterprise. But thereafter, 80% of the success will be determined by the emotional maturity of that person. This is the result that has come out of studies called competency mapping that is done by HR practitioners and recruiters. Until recently, science didn't have much clue about emotions. Science used to consider our human brain as analogous to a computer. And computers, they do not have feelings. They are cold, logical machines. But we humans are not like that, that we know. But science didn't have a model to explain the human brain. It was the latest scientific advancement called MRI and fMRI scans that threw light on the emotional functioning of the brain. And in the words of Daniel Goleman, he had to wait until 1995 to publish this book, because by that time only this scientific understanding had provided sufficient clarity as to how emotions are triggered and how emotions control our interactions. And we have seen that emotions are survival mechanisms that nature has given to animals. And in moments of crisis, the emotional brain that has evolved millions of years ago, that is capable of shutting down the most advanced human brain that evolved only 200,000 years ago. And that is called an amygdala hijack. So that is the kind of emotional hijack that some people, they will say, I lost control, I don't know what I did. And then they say, I regret doing that. So the reason behind is supposed to be that emotional hijack, the animal brain taking over our thinking brain. And then we discussed the history of IQ and emotional intelligence and the multiple intelligences. And in emotional intelligence, we saw that there are 5 domains. First is emotional self-awareness, second, managing emotions, third is motivation, fourth is empathy, and fifth is handling relationships. And then we discussed the application of emotional intelligence in day-to-day life. We discussed how it impacts close family relations. Then we worked at how emotional intelligence is applicable to our work life. And today we are going to the third area of application of emotional intelligence, that is in health and well-being. So that's what we are going to start now, mind and medicine. Let us go back some time. I think it was in 2000. One of my closest relative was in a very serious condition. He was in the ICU and we were all standing outside, anxious, and the doctor came out. I ran to the doctor and asked him, Doctor, how is the condition? The doctor was very annoyed. He was very angry, and in a very angry tone, he shouted back, the condition is very bad. Nothing can be said. And it was so painful for me at that moment. I was a bystander. I felt so hurt. How much a patient would experience if a doctor is talking like this? And does it affect that patient's health? To understand that, let us understand what is the difference between disease and illness. Disease is a medical disorder. It's a physical condition. And illness is the experience of that disease. It is a psychic, physiological condition. Traditionally, medical community has focused on curing the disease while ignoring the illness. So if there is a wound, the medical community, their focus was on curing the wound. The pain caused by that wound, as if it was not the responsibility of the medical community. Or that was the kind of thinking. But does it really affect the patient and the recovery? There was an experiment conducted in 1975 with rats. Rats were given saccharin-laced water with immunosuppressant drugs. So saccharin-laced means it is sweetened water with some drug. That drug, the activity of the drug is to reduce the immunity of the rat. And so such rats, they lost their immunity because the drug was there and they succumbed to diseases. So these rats were conditioned like this. So they know that when they were given sweet water, and at the same time they experienced an immunity deficiency. Afterwards, the same rats, they were given sweetened water, but there was no drug in it. The surprising thing is that even at that time, those rats who were given this sweetened water, they experienced a reduction in their immunity. It shouldn't have happened because there was nothing in that water that was being given to the rat, nothing to suppress their immunity. But the rats, as if their immunity system, as if it had learned that in response to sweet, it was supposed to reduce the immunity. This was very surprising because at that time, this kind of a reaction was unthinkable. It was not postulated by anyone that the neural system is connected some way to the physiological system like immunity. It was just a flavor, it was just a sensation, it was just taste. And that was causing a change in the body. And that gave birth to a new field of medicine that is called psychoneuroimmunology. Meaning of it is study of effect of the mind on health and resistance to diseases. What it postulates, what it says is that all these things, the brain, mind, environment, and body, they are all interrelated and they can influence each other. So if we feel psychological stress, that can impact our body. Now, before we get into it, one caveat here, this has given rise to certain false beliefs that positive attitude is the cure-all and end-all, that if somebody is having a very upbeat positive attitude, that that person will not have any disease, or if some disease happens, that attitude itself will cure all. It is a wrong belief. It is not so. Particularly in the case of cancer, there is no clear scientific evidence has ever been found that stress level is a reason for cancer. We have heard many anecdotes, but there is no statistical scientific proof of showing this kind of a result. And this is said by in one of the best-selling books on cancer by a famous oncologist. It's the title of the book is The Malady of Emperor of All Maladies. And this is the sentence he has given there. A positive attitude does not cure cancer any more than a negative one causes it. So in case of cancer, it is not attitude that's the culprit. But in some other cases, like cardiac diseases and contagious diseases, there is scientific proof that the state of mind causes aggravation, or it can cause expedited recovery. But there too, keep in mind, the state of mind is not all. The state of mind can complement the medical regimen. Please do not go away with the thought that a positive mind is enough to keep our body healthy. No, sometimes medication and surgery might be necessary, but what the positive mind can do is to improve our health and expedite the recovery process. Now, these are the three toxic emotions, and we will go one by one what are their impact on the body. First is anger. The first person who said that anger can be related, it can cause cardiological problems, that person's name is unfortunately lost to history. Because it happened like this. Mr. Friedman and Roseman, they were two cardiologists and they were having a very good practice. But they ran into an unexpected problem because the chairs they had kept in the waiting room, that was getting worn out in a much faster, much more frequent than normal manner. So they used to regularly call upholsterers, they used to rectify the chairs and go. And one time, a new upholsterer came. That person came there, he took a look at the chairs, he observed that the wearing out is happening only at the front few inches of the seat, as well as on the front few inches of the handrest. And he made a profound discovery that with a very rare scientific sophistication, he articulated in words that is thick with scientific jargon. He asked, what the hell is wrong with your patients? He said that these people seems like mentally disturbed in a state of mind. They seems to be sitting only at the very edge of the seat, jumping up and down, and they look like they are fidgeting a lot and clawing up on this handrest. And the upholsterer was so, novel in his linkage of a person's nature to cardiac issues, but these cardiologists paid absolutely no attention to the upholsterer. Yes, he was just an upholsterer and they were the doctors. And the doctors, when with their business as usual, they did very rigorous scientific study of the reason for cardiac issues. After 5 years, they found that the personality type could be a reason for heart issues. At that time, a light bulb went on their head. They remembered 5 years ago, our upholsterer had told us, but by the time that person's contact was totally lost. And for that reason, the person who first said that personality type is related to cardiac issues, his name is lost to history. There are many, many studies that shows that there is an increased risk of cardiac issues related to anger. Now the issue here is that what is the way out? If we try to suppress anger, that's also bad. It is seen to increase blood pressure. If we try to ventilate anger all the time, that's also bad. It seems to increase other health issues. Then what to do? The answer comes from this doctor who has written a book that's titled Anger Kills. What they say is that anger expressed or not is less important. What is really important is it chronic anger or is it chronic hostility? If you are the kind of person who is ready for a fight all the time, if you get into a car, there is heavy traffic block, you get angry at the world, you go to the office, you feel the boss is mistreating you, you feel the subordinates are inefficient, and you go home, you think your spouse and parents and children, they're all messing the whole thing up and you're ready for a fight all the time, that is the culprit. So the antidote that is recommended by Dr. Redford William is to ask these I am worth it questions. So when you're afflicted with cancer, ask these questions. First question, is this important? So when you feel so much hostile towards somebody, ask this question first. Is it important enough for me to put my heart at risk? Second, is what I'm thinking and feeling appropriate to the facts? In a traffic block, we might be thinking that somebody is deliberately digging a ditch on the road just to keep us waiting. Is it accurate to the fact? And is the situation modifiable? Can we stop the car there and start walking to our office that may be 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers? Is it modifiable or not? And is it worth for me to take the action necessary to modify it? Is it worth for me to walk that 20 kilometers or just wait there patiently in the car? Ask these kind of questions. This is an important technique in emotional intelligence. Try to put our feelings into words. The moment we associate, if we are able to describe a feeling or a sensation in words, that will instantly bring that thing under our better control. So the antidote for anger is these am I worth it? I am worth it questions. Okay. Next is anxiety. Anxiety, it can be two types. So one type is good and one type is bad. Like before going for an exam, maybe we will experience a kind of anxiety that will help us perform better. That's a good level of anxiety, but it can reach a toxic stress level where we will feel that we have no control, and it can, if this continuing chronic toxic stress can even damage the brain architecture. Those people who are exposed to continuous anxious environment, they seem to have their brain function changed so that they will be very easily get upset and they might become very annoyed immediately. Their threshold of anxiety and stress will be very low. And these are the results of this compromised, this toxic stress. First is compromised immunity. They can get increase in viral infections, plaque in blood vessel that will expose someone to cardiac issues, accelerated diabetes, increase in asthma, accelerate cancer, it is not causing cancer, it can accelerate cancer, gastrointestinal ulceration and brain damage and memory loss. All these can be the result of toxic stress. And in case of men, anger seems to be the culprit causing cardiac issues. In case of women, it is seen to be anxiety. And there was a very rigorous scientific study on immunity, the effect of stress on immunity. The stress level of people was assessed very scientifically, and then they were systematically exposed to cold virus. So people whose stress level was measured, and those people were measured in a very systematic manner, and they were exposed to cold virus. It was seen that 27% of people with little stress contracted cold, whereas 47% with high level of stress contracted cold. So it is a 20% increase in contracting cold for people who are at high stress level. And maybe we can see it in our own homes. Many couples have said that about 3 or 4 days after a very intense argument, they got afflicted with cold or this kind of contagious disease. And 3 or 4 days is the typical incubation period of this viruses. So there is very strong, this is an established fact that high level of anxiety can expose us more to contagious diseases. And the antidote here is some relaxation technique and meditation. And today we will do a live demonstration of a technique to get rid of anxiety or stress. Next is depression. And there was 100 bone marrow transplant patients, they were studied. 13 of them were depressed and 87 of them, they were not depressed. And after 1 year of this bone marrow transplant, out of this 87 not depressed people, 34 were surviving after 1 year. So it's about 40%. Now, out of these 13 depressed people, can you guess how many would have survived after 1 year? Please, I would like to see some response. You can type out or you can say what is your guess? For the
Nobody survived.
Nobody survived. Okay. Any other answer?
Three survived.
Actually, only one survived. So, had it been the same ratio, about 5 should have survived. About 40% of 13 is 5, but instead there was only 1 who survived. That shows depression increased the likelihood of, or decreased the likelihood of survival by about 80%. This means that depression doesn't cause the disease by itself, but it causes it to worsen once it happens. Another issue with depression is that the symptoms of depression, it will be easily mistaken with other symptoms, a symptom of other diseases. So it is difficult to diagnose and treat. And another thing, rather than a psychological reason, the reason for this high mortality rate could be that the depressed patients may be worse about complying with their medical regimen. They may not be taking their medicine at the right time. They may be cheating on diet and all. So in any case, if among the depressed people, the survival rate is very low compared to the non-depressed people. And for that reason, it is said that for patients with serious diseases, if they are depressed, please treat them for depression also, because it is going to save a lot economically as well as in terms of health and fast recovery. Now, we can do just a live demonstration as to how to handle this kind of upsetting feelings. This was presented by Darren Tay in his World Championship winning speech in 2016. I would request all of you to just switch on the video. Let us do it together. Please, I can see you all. Please switch on the video. Okay. Yes, okay. Right. Now think about something that is upsetting for you, an upsetting feeling, or if you are concerned about a deadline that is coming up, if you are concerned about an interview or a test or children's education or the environment or about the flood situation in Kerala, just think about something that is upsetting for you at this moment. Okay, have you thought about it? I think so. Okay. Now take an object in your hand. Here I have in my hand a pen that is safe to drop on the floor. Take an object in your hand. Okay. Now imagine this object you are holding is the issue that you are upset about. If it is the exam fear, if it is the stage fright, if you're afraid about exam or about the future of children or about the climate challenge or whatever, imagine this object in hand, that is the issue. Just look at it. Don't fight with it. Don't deny it. Don't run away from it. Just observe it. So you have that issue in your hand. Just observe it. As you observe, you will feel that it weakens and then drop it. Okay. Try doing it. I have tried it myself and I made some people do it. They told that it was effective. Maybe I don't know how far it was effective for you now, but just I would request you to watch the talk by Darente and just practice it the way he demonstrates it. And this is seen to be effective for one reason. First is when we objectify a feeling, there itself, it puts a distance between us and our own feelings. And then we observe it, there is something that goes on behind in our mind that I do not want to describe. Experience it yourself and we can easily drop it off. Okay, so this is one technique and see for yourself whether it is effective. That for subclinical depression, anxiety and all, this kind of techniques can be effective, but if it is really severe and clinical depression, maybe medication will be very necessary. Okay, so with that we have covered the toxic emotions. Now let's get into the tonic emotions. So those three, anger, anxiety and depression, they were worsening the condition, worsening health condition. There are certain emotions and activities that will improve our health condition. That is optimism, relationship and support groups. Let us go through one by one. Optimism. Another study, 122 men, they had their first heart attack. Out of them, 25 were most pessimistic and 25 were most optimistic. That means the 25 after the first heart attack, they were optimistic. They felt that they are going to recover, things are going to be okay. And the 25 were most pessimistic. They were thinking that things are going to go bad and worse for them from there. Out of this 25 most optimistic, 19 were survived even after 8 years. Now guess, how many of the 25 most pessimistic would have survived after 8 years? Any guesses? Some guesses, please.
Nobody.
Okay.
6.
4. So among the most optimistic, 19 had survived. The most pessimistic, only 4 had survived. There again, almost a 5-fold decrease or a 5-fold increase in the mortality rate for the pessimistic people. So it was not the best predictor for survival was not the damage to heart or the cholesterol level or the number of blockages or blood pressure. It was the mental outlook. That was the best predictor of the chance of survival for patients who have recovered from a first heart attack. So it pays to be more optimistic. Second is friends and family. This one we have discussed earlier. A study was started in 1938 that they followed more than 700 men from different economic backgrounds. They followed them for more than 75 years. It was very rigorous. They took a record of their blood cholesterol level, their academic level, their interaction with their parents, their physical regimen, their diet, their economic background, their salary, social position, all those things, they were meticulously recorded year after year. And when they reached the 75th year of the study, they did an analysis. They checked what about these men in their 50s would have best predicted their health and happiness in their 70s. And what was the finding? Would it be, let me give you the answer. It was not their body mass index. It was not the amount of fat they had in their body. It was not the cholesterol level. It was not the intelligence level. It was not the income level. It was not the asset, the $1 million asset they had, or no penny in the balance. None of that was the predictor of their health and happiness in their 70s. But only one thing, that was the quality of the relations they had. People who had loving and caring relations, they were happier and healthier in their old age period. So it is actually love and being in good relations that makes people happy and healthy, not anything else. Being in good relations, somebody might think that I need to have hundreds of thousands of friends. Not like that. Only a handful of friends, maybe 4, 5, or 6, who we can reach out to without hesitation at a time of crisis, who we can ring in the midnight hour and ask for help without feeling bad about it, and who we can sure that they will have our back when it is required. In many cases, it may be close family friends and the closest family members and the closest friend, usually 4 or 5 in that range. And some people, they could be alone. Alone they may be staying away from their closest near and dear, but if they are in very good loving and caring relations, if they maintain that sort of connection with those people, they were not lonely. Being lonely and being alone is two different things. Alone is a physical state. A person can, if a person is isolated, he is alone. But if that person, even if he is in the midst of a sea of people, but he cannot talk to even a single person in there, in that case, that person is lonely. So being lonely is very, very bad for health. Be in good, loving, caring relations, irrespective of the distance, irrespective of the number of people, just with a handful of people, 1 or 2, that's also good enough. But have that loving and caring relations. That's the only thing that is going to keep us healthy and happy. And next is support groups. Support groups, we have heard about things like Alcoholics Anonymous that help alcoholics to recover. In a study of women with terminal breast cancer, it was seen that women who attended weekly support group meetings, they survived almost 37 months against those who faced it on their own. Those women who didn't, though they didn't have any kind of this support group, they survived only for about 19 months. But those women who could attend support groups, their life was for about almost double. So often in support groups only, the women, they could really share their feelings, because all those people in that support group, they had either experienced it or they were experiencing it. It was consisting of people who are in similar situation. If there is that kind of a support group, particularly in case of terminal cancer and all, medicine cannot do much, cannot do anything. In their cases, support group was seen to be very effective, and it said that had it been a new drug that produced such 19 months or say 18 months of extension in life expectancy, pharma companies would be battling to produce it. But it is not a costly medicine. Just a group of people who will sit together, support each other, and share their pain, sorrow, as well as the moments of joy that they had. That was seen to be very, very effective. So these are the three tonic emotions and activities. First is optimism, second, maintaining loving and caring relations, and third is support groups. So with that, let us come back to that question, the way the medical practitioners should behave. When I was told by that rude doctor that situation is very bad, I had that pain in my heart. And science shows that that can impact the patient's health. So this is a line written by a patient to his surgeon in an open letter. He said, compassion is not mere hand-holding, it is good medicine. So there is a need for medicine and medical practitioners to be compassionate based on scientific evidence. With that, we have come to the end of the workshop today. So please, this is time for question and answers. Questions?
Shall I ask Harish?
Yes, very much, yes.
Thank you very much. It's a wonderful presentation where we need to know the current lot of improvements in the medical field, but yes, these are very important. One thing what we have completed that area I want to touch. There's another thought from the medical field. They want to make the patient's relatives to get ready to that situation. Very recently, I come across one of my neighbor, of course, unfortunately, is better off. The doctors are very open and frank and said that situation is really bad. Get ready. Things, unless until it improves this level, be ready. So what I understand, I felt in CMC Vellore also when before going for open heart surgery, one of our director of finance, previous day night, the doctor came took their wife. She was very active, and then made her to cry, to make her to get prepared for any eventuality. So this is what that other side they are thinking. What is your opinion about it?
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean,
doctors feel that we have to develop, bring that them to that level where to get ready for any situations.
Yeah, the example that I was saying, it was not about the message, but about the way it was delivered. The doctor was literally shouting at my face, as if it was something wrong. I was disturbing in his duty, as if to get away. That kind of behavior, that's what I was speaking about. Dr. DTM Sada, you are mute.
The doctor need a counseling. He must be under a lot of stress, handling the patient and feel that patient is under.
Yeah. Maybe that's why the historically medical community, they were not aware that this kind of behavior can have an impact on the patients. DTM Ekedas, thanks for joining.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. Very, very informative and your life experience. I was just I joined in the hub, but particularly I care that the family relationship, the relationship, caring relationship, very very important for every part of the life. That is very very important. Very informative in this. Very nice. Well done.
Thank you, Shajesh, Yusufaga, Athros ma'am.
No, I just wish to state that this workshop was indeed very practical, down to earth, and useful to each and every participant. I really appreciate President Harish for taking the pain to study it and present it in a way. And it's an everyday, day-to-day life. So it is useful to each one of us. Even we are aware about it also. When you explain these things, it became more, become a part of our own knowledge and live knowledge. Thank you, Harish.
Thank you so much, Annichetan. Right.
Harish.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much for a very, very informative as well as a lot of positive things we have gained from in the workshop. I have a small question for you. Actually, you have told that positive mind can't cure cancer, right? Positive mind. Scientifically, positive mind can't cure cancer. My question is, see whether there is any difference if we are having a negative mind. That one was not covered. If case of cancer.
Yes, there was the example that we discussed about optimistic people and pessimistic people.
Yeah.
That was about this cancer itself. So, no,
The
right?
optimism,
About
negativity, little.
bone marrow patients, the
Mm.
example that we discussed. See here, bone marrow transplant patients out of
Yeah.
about depressed people, there is only one person who
1
survived.
minute.
Yeah, depression means they are having a negative bent of mind.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Right. Yes. But
Yeah, depression is directly related with negativity. That is also point. Okay, that's fine.
yeah,
Thank you very much, Harish. Thank you.
yeah. The
That's,
caveat
Good
here is
evening.
that, hi,
Good evening, Dr. Harish. How are you?
Good, ma'am.
Yeah, I just want to add a little bit to
Yeah.
whatever you have said just now. I did not get an opportunity to listen to your whole workshop, but still, I would like to say that, when it comes to something like that, bone marrow transplant patients, I myself in my career have seen, and I would like to state one real case study. When a young girl of 15 was diagnosed with this, and she underwent a lot of surgeries, bone marrow transplant from the sibling as well. But because of the optimism of herself as well as her parents, when the doctor said it was only a matter of couple of years, she was able to survive a decade. Mark my words, a decade. So this was the role of optimism. This was the role of positive thinking, positive attitude when it comes to care of such patients. So it has a huge impact. There are a lot many studies done, and it has also proven that a positive mindset along with lots of optimism has done wonders to these patients. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Hi, Sushil. Thank you for joining. There are any more questions? I think I am running out of time. If there are,
Yeah, Harish.
yes.
Harish, this is Yusuf.
Yeah, Yusuf. Yes.
Yeah, first of all, thanks a lot for the beautiful presentation. And as always, I've been, very keen to hearing from you. Beautifully explained. I learned a lot of, things. I got a beautiful message from the presentation. What you have, you presented it very, very beautifully. Being alone and lonely, the difference you have explained very well. And depression and anxiety can be devastating, as you rightly mentioned, which we need to take care of. My only suggestion would also definitely any meditation and all those practices definitely help. Also physical exercise, this is my own experience. Physical exercise done on a daily basis, that will help you, for depression patients, that helps us a lot also. That's it. Thank you very much. I learned a lot, and thanks for inviting me to this beautiful presentation. Thank you very much, Harish.
So nice, Yusuf. So nice to listen to you after a long time.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, here all, I think now I'm running out of time. So thank you all for joining once again. Now over to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, DTM Harish Bhargavan, for that well-conducted session. By now, I came to know what is the difference between disease and illness, what is the difference between lonely and alone. Thank you for that. And a lighter note, I can see if a couple come with cold, means they done some some quarreling 2-3 days back. That is also a good tip to understand. And thanks to all distinguished guests and members to have valuable comments and their opinion. So moving to our second workshop, that is in line with today's agenda. TM Shantireka Rao always gives marvelous sessions in various clubs. Workshop on Moments of Truth by TM Shantireka Rao will give us useful insights. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Rajesh, for inviting me. And once again, thanks a lot to all the members of Periyar Toastmaster Club for inviting me for this workshop on Moments of Truth. After such a wonderful session, very insightful session, really there also he was talking about you need to be very much truthful to yourself, how much I know about myself, right? How much I'm aware of myself, how much I know about how much I'm depressed or what is going inside. So this is, basically this moments of truth, when I saw this workshop or when I went through this workshop, what TMI has given, it was really, it's a wonderful one. It's a wonderful truth, not only to understand how we are functioning or how we are running a club or how we as a Toastmaster doing, but at the same time, I felt it was like more like to understand our own self. So let's get started. Before I go ahead, what is the time duration you have given me, DTM Harish?
Madam, 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, fine. Just 15 minutes, you let me know, right? Thank you. Now, I'm going to take it a very interactive way because I don't want, I can't sit for a longer time and talk and just see to it other, participants, whether they are listening or not, I don't want to. I try to make it as interactive, but at the same time, see to it some type of learnings will come, which will really motivate us to do wonders and see to it how we are going to train. So before we go ahead, I would like to show a small video. What exactly is this? It's nothing to relate it with Toastmasters. It's only as an introspection.
When you look around at the small amount of people who truly succeed in life and the huge amount of people who don't and never will, it's no wonder when you look at the ethics and morals of these people. Some people would rather steal the first place medal than earn it. But the real prize is the growth that comes from earning it. The real prize is the journey that comes from earning it. And you'll never earn it without ethics and morals.
You'll never earn respect without integrity. You'll never have great relationships without morals. You'll never have the support of your peers or your team backing you without ethics.
The real prize is the journey. And sadly, many people will never get that. They'll never understand doing the right thing always leads to better results.
Doing what is right leads to better relationships. Better relationships lead to bigger and better opportunities and better results. Doing what is right leads to better outcomes, better products and services, better and bigger referrals. It is a compounding cycle and law of nature that always comes back around. But most people don't have that level of patience. They want the lottery ticket, not the ticket to integrity and a fully lived life. They want the easy option now, not the legacy of a life lived consistently doing the right thing.
Some people would be willing to tread on everyone as long as they reach the top. If you are stepping on toes to get to that next level, don't be surprised when those same toes kick you up the backside. When you drag others down, karma will ensure it's only a matter of time before you too are dragged down.
Most people want the glory without the guts, the prize without the persistence, the money without the morals, the easy without the ethics. Most people just chase the money with no consideration of doing what is right.
So this is actually the moment of truth. As I've told you, it is nothing related with the Toastmaster, but yes, it's certainly an introspection, what we are doing and why we are doing and how we are doing. So let's get started with the workshop and the moments of truth. This is a definition given by Toastmaster International, a moment of truth. And to be very frank, again, as I've told you, it's going to be a lot of interaction. To conduct this workshop or to say yes to this workshop, it requires a, dare. We all play like dare and it requires a courage. Yes, we want to do it because ultimately it's a checkup. Let's go ahead. When a person comes in contact with any aspect of the Toastmasters experience and forms an expression of club quality and service. Now, how many of you know this medical checkup? Let us be interactive. We all know, isn't it? We all go, maybe annually or maybe sometimes twice in a year. We all go, isn't it? Like what we do in this medical checkup? Anyone can unmute and answer. DTM Shivdas sir, what we do usually in this medical checkups, we do usually go, right, in a year. Sometimes
Yes, our cholesterol, mostly at this age, we are constantly our cholesterol checkup and pressure.
Cholesterol checkup, pressure checkup, sugar levels, then also how is the heart functioning. Yes or no? We all go for this. Now, even we go for this checkup also, correct?
Yes.
What is
Yes.
this? Basically, we give a car to the service, we give the car service station and ask them, see, check up all the things, whether the wheels are in proper, whether the brakes are working, whatever the things are, all the things are in place. Why do we do this? What is the reason why we go for medical checkup?
For our safety journey.
For our safety journey? Why? What is the reason? How it is related to safety journey?
Because if the car has some issue in the future, it will affect our health also. If it affect our life also.
Similarly, the medical checkup will give you some idea. The medical checkup will tell you what is it, how you are functioning. So that will make you to understand. Suppose if I'm not doing well, suppose my sugar levels raise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off my sugar. If my BP is more, I'm going to cut off, salt. Or at sometime maybe I will do some exercises. Like what Harish Bhargav said. Even there also they have to have a checkup. Right? So these checkups are very, very important. If these checkups are important for our health and for car and everything, why can't for our Toastmasters? We keep on functioning for 10 years, 20 years, 25 years. We have a long journey in Toastmasters. But then we have to check up ourselves. We have to see the moment of truth. What exactly we are functioning, how I am functioning as a leader, how I am functioning as a member, how my club is functioning as a club. So this is what exactly is called as moments of truth. When we encounter customer service, suppose if I go to some shop, maybe a Samsung, maybe some outlet, and if I feel the customer service is very nice, very hospitality is very good, so am I going to visit next time? Certainly yes. And if I go to another shop where they did not introduce me properly, where they did not look at me properly, so what I'm going to do? Am I going to visit that shop? Certainly no. So this is what exactly happens with your customer service. Okay, a moment of truth is an episode where a prospective member, the first impression, how he feels, what is the impression, what is an idea. So these are that is exactly talks about. Toastmasters has given many parameters to understand how we do and what we do. Now let us have some introspective questions. I want either you put in the chat or you can just answer them. What is the mission of Toastmaster? Can anyone unmute and answer what is the exact mission of Toastmasters? How many of us really know that? How the new members, suppose if any new member is there here today? No. Any new member today? No one. Okay, how many of us really know this? How many of us really this, in one of the meetings, some of the meetings has brought this aspect back? Have we? Anyone can say, frankly, this is a moment of truth, no problem. Nothing is going to, it's not.
Provide a supportive and positive learning experience.
Yes. So is this, but we read in sometimes some of the clubs and read in the start, but literally when we go ahead with some assignments or something that is missing. It's not about that they do it purposely, but yes, because sometimes we miss this aspect. Now, this is one very big question to all of us because this is Periyar Club is a very senior club and very, very prestigious club. Why we joined Toastmasters? Because I joined Toastmasters, to be very frank, one of my friend, her husband was in Toastmasters. He said, you have to come to Toastmasters. I couldn't refuse her because she's a very good friend of mine. I said, okay, fine, I'll just go join Toastmasters. So what were your reasons why you joined? Team Harish, you give such a wonderful sessions. Why you joined Toastmasters? What was the first impression when you joined Toastmasters?
I saw in one poster, my friend's photograph was printed. So I wanted to see my picture then.
So nice, wonderful, moment of truth, very good. DTM Sadagopan sir, why did you join Toastmaster?
I just attended with my friend Toastmaster Ramanathan, and I saw nice people and nice snacks. So I thought, let me attend because I'm alone and I was alone in Dubai. So I started attending to get more friends to build the relationship. DTM Harish told now, that time I was more worried about having a good circle and friendship around me.
Correct. Very true. See, I joined Toastmaster, as I told you, because of the friend, and later on I continued Toastmaster. I continued my Toastmaster journey because at that time, every fortnight we used to have meetings in Aljur with beautiful, very nice snacks. Just we have to pay some nominal amount for 6 months and enjoy the snacks. So that is the reason why we had, because so why we joined Toastmasters. Why people leave Toastmasters. So my pictures are posting, I'm getting good snacks, I'm all getting, but why people leave Toastmasters? Again, it is one of the questions per moment of truth. Why really people leave? This is not only for our DTM Harish, it is also for everyone, because everyone are leaders. Like we say we create leaders. So I, as a normal member, I'm a leader. Okay, I am as a president, I'm a leader. I'm as a sergeant at arms, I'm a leader. I'm just an observer. Still, I'm a leader, right? So why people leave? This is another question. We will go ahead with all the things. Now, this is one important thing which I got it, like why people leave. Very nice, diagram or very nice graphic they have given. In fact, the statistics also: 1, they die; 3, move away. Maybe I go to Canada or some other place where they don't have Toastmasters, I move. Or 9% move on to the other product because of recommendation. For example, I joined Periyar and somebody said, hey, Periyar is very good, but then why don't you join Global? So immediately I'll be joining Global. To be very frank, I am the member of 4 clubs. Okay. Someone can ask me why 4 clubs? Because I have reasons for every club. 9, find a cheaper product somewhere else. Somebody said it happens. It is happening nowadays. Somebody says, oh, you are paying 200. We pay only 150 for 6 months. Please join us. Sadhagopal sir, yes, it happens, right?
Yeah, very much. Sometimes we need to compromise on the price because the quality and the people what we are getting the club is most important.
True. Sometimes it happens. 10% are chronically dissatisfied. Okay, 68% go somewhere because the people they deal are indifferent to their needs. This is also one other. When to be very frank, when I joined, I felt like, okay, all Toastmasters are big people. They speak a lot. They do these things, but I'm not. So I thought of leaving, but then again, snacks pulled me to be there. So this is one of the reasons where we need to understand why, if anybody leaves a company or even for that company, even for our Toastmaster, why. So these are the aspects. In fact, these are the parameters where the moments of truth are to be led. The first one is first impression. Second one is membership orientation, fellowship variety communication, program planning, meeting organizations, membership strength, achievement recognition. Now, I'm coming for the first impression, but that is a very, very, very crucial one, because the first impression is the last impression. Make a good first impression. Now I'll stop for 2 minutes. Now, I just want to have we will have a frank this one, like when you joined the Toastmaster, whichever, see, this is again a moment of truth, not only for this one, just as I told you for everyone. When you joined the first day of the Toastmaster, how you felt on a scale of 1 to 3. On a scale of 1 to 3, how you felt, whether you were greeted, whether you were spoke nicely, welcomed. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 3, the first day. Anyone can unmute. We have Manoj Nair, DT Manoj Nair. Just first day I'm talking about.
Yeah, I still remember my first day. Actually, I was very depressed. Actually, my father had a heavy heart attack, and and on that day, actually day before. So I was not ready to come to the Toastmasters, in fact, but then my friend John had taken me to the Toastmasters. There, after reaching there, I was asked to switch off my mobile first. Then I switch off my mobile. Then Anthony Chaitan was the Toastmaster of the day, and it was a celebration. Actually, there was a celebration on that day, and because of some contest win and other things. So I just got involved into that, and I felt I have forgotten my pain and got involved into that celebration. So it was the impression which I felt that Toastmasters can relieve pain. That is Toastmasters.
Perfect. So 1 to 3, you will be rating 3, like you were very happy, right? And then one more impression, first day of the meeting or the first day when you entered and of the first day when you paid the membership fees. I have paid the membership fees. So is there any difference between the 2 days?
Yeah, definitely. There will be if we enter and then we were talking about money, then there may be a difference. Definitely, we will feel a difference because it's money-making entity like that. That feeling may come to anybody. So
Comes sometimes it comes. So
yeah.
that is something, a challenge for us, how we can remove that. That's a moment of truth. Yes, it happens sometimes. Because when I joined in one of the club, so the first day was very good. Greeted, were inaugurated. I mean, that was a physical, and then being invited to speak and everything. A lot of applause and everything. But then when I paid the money, gone. So again, some of the members really feel that. So again, it's a DTM Shivadas. Do you want to comment on this?
But according to me, money is important. We are all here for money. But if you are spending this for good cause, I don't think that money is a matter actually. Okay. So in my 3 clubs history, I never felt such kind of experience.
Wonderful. So that's a really great credit goes to the Periyar Toastmaster Club in which we are been. So that type of feeling is not there. That type of thing, we are not inculcating that feeling. That's a great thing. Now, this is some of the things we need to work on. Like, one second, well, let us go ahead. The first impression, how I am greeted, how I am being, welcomed. Guests were, introduced to the officers and members. Guest book and the name tags provided. And one more thing is that, like we all were the first time we entered. Were the rules, were the roles and everything were explained to us by our member or the person who introduced? Yes, sir? Anyone?
Yeah, definitely.
It was the first time. The first day. Perfect. Convenient meeting location was there. Anyway, now it is all Zoom, so we can really think of meeting locations are wonderful where we are going from, work from or, comfort zone. Guests invited to address the club? Yes. Guests invited to join. So these were the impressions where we have to see whether we are able to do, even if it is online or an offline. So that is one thing. Last time when one of the guests joined Periyar Toastmaster, I've seen he was being invited to speak something in TT. Or even suppose the TT is not done because TT is something you have to address the crowd. So what we can do is maybe we can just call him to address. What is your first impression? How did you like it? Okay. And then membership orientation. Membership orientation, this is again as a very senior club. This is, I don't want to really indulge into that, like your roles, your responsibilities, members involved in the club activities, assignments of the mentors are all being taken care of. Savigopal sir, do you want to comment as a senior person? I want your comments on this, sir.
This is very important. Members should feel that importance. Not only will retain in the club.
Yes.
The orientation of members is most important. The club EXCOM has to give a lot of importance to this so that we give the due respect, due importance to the member, then they will stay with us.
Members have to be, otherwise they'll stay. Many a times, like in some of the clubs, they leave. They say, no, it is not my cup of tea. Some of the clubs, they say it is only for, English people, not for others, right? So these are the things we need to say. Member orientation is very, very important. Then fellowship, variety and communication, greeted warmly, enjoyable, educational meetings. And it should not be all the time so many, like again, here in Periyar Toastmaster Club, I have seen that there is a variety. Because see, after 1, 2 meetings or 3 meetings, we have sessions from DTM, RH, or we have a lot of things. It should not be only the speeches or only the evaluation, only the things. There were some again, as I've told you, the first area visit as a AD, when I visited, I said the first thing is that I've seen a lot of posts of Periyar on the FBs, not now when you were in physical, like celebrating Onam Day, celebrating New Year Day, coming in traditional dresses, because that motivates people. It's not only the speeches, that motivates, that people feel, yes, something is done. The last but not the least, that the club newsletter, because why the newsletter is important. That is something where we have to work, because that is something I don't know whether the Periyar is coming or not, that we need to work. That because club newsletter is something what we are doing, it's reaching to people, it's reaching to the district, it's reaching beyond that. So that is where we need to work. Most of the clubs, they seldom do that. Correct? DTM Harish sir, what about the club newsletter for our club, sir? We are going to?
Madam, what we do different from others for publicity is we record our entire proceedings and post it in social media.
Perfect.
So, right.
So you are somewhere updating, or you are making people aware, the people through media, you're making people aware what is happening. Planning, organization, planning, program, meeting organization is very, very important. Many times it happens like we don't get people at all for speakers. Then we have to pull on somebody, hey, please do something. So this is one of the things whether we are doing or not. But again, here we are. It's not like a report, but from my side, but I am observing. And the moment of truth is yes. Even I have to be truthful. Positive and helpful evaluation, that is the most important thing. Our evaluation, many times the evaluation are suppressing. For example, a new Toastmaster, she's giving an icebreaker speech. How we are evaluating. So this whole orientation should be there for the members. Membership strength. Yes, now this is very, very important. I think all our members are aware of the DCP points and everything, sir. I think we have achieved good DCP points. Harish, sir.
Yes, yeah. Members are aware. Yeah, one area where we have challenge is meeting the 20 or more registered members.
No problem. But say we are meeting, because I've seen the post in that and you have congratulated all who have joined and who have registered and who has renewed their membership.
Yeah.
Achievement recognition. That is, we have done in the start. This is something again very, very important, because most of the members are not aware how I'm going to achieve. What are the things I can get it? How I'll go for the DCP points and other stuff. So achievement record. Does your club meet standards? First impression. Again a question back. First impression on 1.3. Can anybody put in the chat to me? Personal chat. The first one is first impression 1 to 3. One is, this is going to be not only with me. Please be it's confidential. 1 to 3. First impression. 3 means very good. 1 means not good. 2 means good. Member orientation, fellowship orientation, communication, program planning, meeting organization, membership strength, achievement, and recognition. Just put in my personal chat. 1 to 3. Together you can put all 3 or all 2 or all, no one, nothing is, I know it's not going to be one, all, it's because it's very, very positive how we are working out. Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm getting the answers. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I'm expecting few more. Sadhagopal sir, you also can, as a member, as a senior Toastmaster, you can put it. Good. Oh, wow. Thank you, Rajesh. The way you have put everything very good. All the points you have mentioned. Excellent. Okay, Sadhagopal sir, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Even you have put in a very systematic. Thanks a lot for this feedback, because this is again, all are ranging 2 to 3. If 2 is there, let us think, let us introspect how we can achieve 3. But nothing, we didn't get anyone. DTM Harish, congratulations. So how you are greeted, how the evaluations, what happened to, now this one question is there, how many of you know what happened to CC manual, CCL manual? Anybody is aware of what happened exactly? DTM Shivdasa, Sushil Gupta, DTM Toastmasters, Sushil Gupta, anyone?
Can you repeat the question, please?
The third question. What happened to CCL manual? No. Sadhagopal sir, can you please throw light on this? What happened to CCL?
Now it's become a pathway. So it's all combined as a one manual and become a pathway. CCL manual become old education system.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is again a moment of truth that you have given a good answer. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So the first impression is the last impression. To be very frank, my first impression regarding Periyar Toastmaster Club on 1.3, I can give 3. Wonderful. Thanks a lot once again for giving me this chance. Because when I was working on my own self as a leader, how I can work on, enhance and develop ourselves. Thank you once again. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shandireka, for that revealing session. It is in line with today's agenda that confront the brutal facts. So to move forward any organization, regardless of it is a big corporation or our Toastmaster meetings, we need to know what are the real facts. Then only we can move forward. So this your session was really a eye-opening session. Thanks to that. By saying that, Toastmaster Sabukritas, can you say the timing for both sessions?
Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, good evening once again. So actually, in the beginning, our BP Education told me no need to count the DTM Harish Bhargavan's workshop. That's really, but I wanted that one, and he has taken around 37 minutes plus question answer session. So normally it is around 40 minutes. And Toastmaster Shandireka took 23 minutes, 55 seconds. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sabukritas. So moving towards the program, like from the books we are saying and we are revealing the main facts. Other main thing is, like, many of you heard about the flywheel, a big wheel in diesel engines that store energy. So great organizations slowly then get the momentum. So in all organization and even family, we can build up good moral and system slowly, and we can keep or gain the momentum. By saying that, we will move to table topics. This is an area where we prompted for quick thought and delivery, where all participants are equal. And the main fact is to develop our speech instantly. For conducting today's table topic session, I am welcoming Toastmaster Harikumar. The platform is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Warm good evening to all of you. As TT Master today, I am pretty sure this evening will be a memorable and enjoyable one with all your support and presence of mind. It is my honor and privilege as table topic master today. One of the most interesting sessions of Toastmaster meeting is table topic. The topic should consist of the following: introduction, body, and conclusion. Time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. I have selected some really simple topics, and it will be displayed over here, and we'll call one by one after announcing the subject. Shall we start?
Yes, please go ahead.
So I would request Mr. Ravi Kumar to present the first subject. The first subject is this: if you want to change one thing in your family, what it would be and why? I will read it again. If you want to change one thing in your family, what it would be and why? Let me welcome Mr. or invite Mr. Toastmaster or DTM Sadagoban to talk about this. Not here, mute, it is mute.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Hari. Hari Kumar, I didn't expect this for a very long time. I didn't participate in the table topics. One thing you want to change in your family. The most important thing is to obey to your wife, keep them happy. After some time, some age, you need to ensure that the wife is the most important person in the family. Nowadays, with this Toastmaster come to the dining table, I find it very easy to accommodate that I can be in the house throughout. Earlier, there was a major complaint for her that I'm not in the house at all. Most of the time, I'm going attending some meeting or somewhere here and there. So it's very important. The family, one thing is to maintain a harmonious relationship. As DTM Harish rightly talked about, in fact, I went twice the speech about that research paper, what they submitted. Still, it is going on. The relationship is what is matters. Very important. And in the family, if you show that you are taking care of others in the family, if you show that you are loving others, definitely they will reciprocate. That's the most important thing within the family. You need to have that relationship. So that I feel that whatever you need to compromise it, ensure that we maintain a very good relationship, and that should be really true relationship, not just for making a dramatic or just for the sake of making something on paper, but should be a true relationship, should be long lasting. So that is what I feel. One thing is to strengthen your relationship within the family members, show them how important to you they are, and then give them a due respect. With this, our family will be very nice, very wonderful place, and that will last for a long period, our relationship. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hari. I was typing to PJJ Anthony Anna to just after a long time seeing. Thank you, OT.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Ravi Kumar, you can show the next topic. Second topic is moral values have very much importance in everyone's life. Can you name what are the 3 moral rules you will never break? I just told 3, but if you have something more, you can tell, but minimum 3. I will repeat the subject once again. Moral values have very much importance in everyone's life. What are 3 moral rules you will never break? Let me invite our most respected PJJ Anthony Chetan to talk about this.
Dear TT Master, fellow Toastmasters, and a very special guest. On the outset, I feel moral values are not something very constant in society. It keep on changing. Maybe at least the way you prioritize it will vary and change. Every world, society creates its own something which was immoral maybe a few decades ago become moral in our time, or the vice versa, the other way. But still, if somebody asks me what is the one moral this thing, you always keep is I just wanted to be an empathetic person. I should be able to feel the pain of other people. I can say, even when you say that itself, you feel there is something more important. The sense of equality, I always feel that is the core of well-being of human race. The sense of equality, I must always keep that sense of equality with everyone else and keep going in this world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anthony Chetan, for that elevated speech. Now, VP Education, please go to the next topic. The next question is, what type of person angers you most? How do you manage them? I will repeat it. What type of person angers you most? How do you manage them? I would request, or I would invite Mr. Manoj C. Nair to talk about this.
Thank you, Cheta. Table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests, a warm good evening to one and all. Yeah, very nice topic. Actually, it was given to me. Very truthful topic given to me. Frankly, for me, I hate dishonesty. Whenever people are honest and open to the nature, I always welcome them. But when I personally feel that they are dishonest and not coming into the path of truth, I felt a little irritated, frankly. I felt a feeling of depression happens when others talk to us in not in the right, truthful way. So I personally believe it is very much as Gandhiji rightly told, truth is fact, truth is life. These things actually, when it comes for a sagacious person, truth should be a value that each and everybody has to put forward. When we have truth, we should not fear anything. If I am nowadays, I practice this in my management level as well. I should tell the truth. This is the fact. This is what is there. So let us be, we will get some confidence by telling the truths. So that always, even in speeches also, when we are delivering something which is truthful to ourselves, it will give better confidence to us and we will deliver better. So I personally don't like dishonesty. I feel to be honest always I expect that from my friends as well as family and those who are surrounding me. This is my answer to this topic. I feel thank you and over to Harichat.
Yes, Mr. Ravi Kumar, we will go for one more. You have time? Okay, go to the next one.
Okay, let's go to the last topic.
Pardon?
Let's go to the last topic, one more.
Yeah. Okay. So go to the next one. Please show that. Ravi Kumar?
Yes.
Okay. The question is little tricky, but you can answer very well. Which is your favorite part in your body? Why? Which is your favorite part in your body? Why? Can I invite Mr. Sushil Gupta, Toastmaster Sushil Gupta, to talk about this?
Thank you, Ravi, and thank you for inviting me. This is my first listen to join here. I would like to answer this question. Actually, my favorite part of my body is my mouth. Actually, it can speak good words to the poor person or to the person who are actually so that they can feel better. And if you speak some good words, those persons, actually this is a very big thing. So I feel actually my mouth is blessed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for the wonderful participation and I can say very active participation, confronting with the brutal realities in life, which are the questions are mostly related to that. And thanks for that. And our sagacious Toastmasters delivered nice speeches here. So the timer, our previous president, Shabu Cletus, could you please read out the timer's report?
Good evening, sagacious Toastmasters. DTM Sadagoban took 1 minute 42 seconds. DTM PJJ Anthony took 1 minute to 14 seconds. DTM Manosina took 1 minute to 57 seconds. And Toastmasters Shil Gupta took 1 minute 2 seconds. All are qualified. Please cast a vote for all.
Thank you, Mr. Shabu Cletus. All the TT speakers are qualified. Now members can vote for the best TT speaker. The poll will appear on your screen in a few minutes from now. Thank you, Toastmasters. Well done, all the speakers, and congratulations to each one of you. Please give them a big thunderous round of applause. In fact, I thoroughly enjoyed the speeches as a table topic master. Once again, thank you, BP Education, for giving me this wonderful learning opportunity. Over to Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harikumar, for that well-conducted session that is in line with the theme of today. All the topics were selected and revealing that confront the brutal facts. So by saying that, we can move to the next session. Today's, we have only one evaluation session. To conduct the TT evaluation, I welcome DTM Elna Rajan. She's well known to all of us for her dedication and sincerity in her profession and in assignments in Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, please give a big round of applause and welcome DTM Elna Rajan to conduct TT evaluation session. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, everyone, my dear fellow Toastmasters. First of all, let's give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Harikumar for bringing such amazing topics for TT session. Our first speaker was DTM Sadagoban, sir. Topic given was one thing to change in your family, what and why. Sir said, gave us really good suggestion about how to have good relationship in your family, and gave us a very nice solution that obey your wife and keep them happy. I hope all Toastmasters will follow him. But I guess sir was not expecting to be called, so he didn't hear the second part of the question, that is what and why. So the only recommendation I would like to say here is that maybe you could have heard the question completely and answered for what and why. Second question was given to our dear PJJ Anthony sir. It was 3 moral values, rules you will never break in your life. He gave us a very good example that moral values are not constant in our society, and he would love to be empathetic person and love to follow sense of equality. The only recommendation which I would like to give sir is that he could have given some more examples from his vast experience, filled with experience in his life. One small experience could have been shared with us about related to moral values. Third speaker was our dear DTM Manoj Sinaya. Topic was what kind of person angers you and how will you deal with that person? DTM Manoj sir had given us really good very good solution, and gave us a really nice answer for this question, that you should welcome those who are honest. He said that people who are not sincere irritates him, and he gave us a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. Spoke very well for the TT session and concluded by saying that you should practice saying the truth no matter how hard it is. And again, one small recommendation, sir, could have given a personal experience of how you dealt with a person who's not sincere towards you. And the last speaker for tonight was Toastmaster Sushil Gupta. The topic was favorite part of the body. Now, for sure, it was such a difficult topic to answer quick, but he gave us such a good answer by saying that mouth is a very good part where you can speak out words, and I felt the answer was amazing. For being a new Toastmaster, this was an amazing answer. And he spoke with a lot of confidence. Only one advice or recommendation is that, sir, you can speak a little more. There's plenty of time enough for you. That's all. Thank you so much for giving me this chance, dear VP Education, Toastmaster Ravi Kumar. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, DTM Elna Rajan, for that crisp evaluation. Thanks a lot. I hope all the speakers get insight that can be shown in coming speeches. By saying that, we can move to the next part. We have two wonderful sessions of workshops. But today we have a TT session, so we like to hear who is the winner for today. So I welcome Toastmaster Ravi Kumar to declare that.
Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, warm good evening. Today there is only voting for only TT session, so the best TT speaker is DTM PJJ Anthony. Congratulations and all the best, DTM PJJ Anthony, sir. And in evaluation, we have only one evaluator. So obviously, Tom DTM Elna Rajan is the best evaluator. Congratulations to DTM Elna Rajan as well. And that's the result. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ravi Kumar. My dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, I hope you all enjoy the show. Can any one of you say the name of the book I was referring?
Yes, Confront the Brutal Fact of Jim Collinson.
The author name is correct. Actually, thanks for that.
The Stockdale Paradox.
Yes, yes. The book name is the author is correct, Jim Collins. The book name is Good to Great. So in this book, what he done, he and his fellow researchers done a well research, and they identified 11 companies that came from good to great and sustained that results for 15 years. And from that, they find out what are the key concepts that they become great from good. So in short, it is three things: disciplined people, disciplined thoughts, and disciplined actions. That's how these companies become great, from good to great. That's it. Once again, I thank you, our dear VP Education TM Toastmaster Ravi Kumar, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be the Toastmaster of the day. And thanks to all. Over to you, Presiding Officer.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Rajesh. Has done a splendid job today. I think he's thinking to start a new enterprise, and he has started laying the foundations for the company by learning all these things. All the best to you, Rajesh, and I expect future you will be nothing less than a Mukesh Ambani. All the best to you. Thank you, all the signees. And today we had such a nice meeting, two important workshops. We had some, some revelations about the moments of truth, how a Toastmaster club should function. I think we should focus more on these things from today onwards. And saying that, our next meeting will be on October 30. As November 1 falls as the Kerala Piravi, the birth of our Kerala state, we have kept it as a Mundu meeting. Then the official language will be Malayalam. And the signees will be announced later. Having said that, I would like to hand it over to the actual president now. Let's see whether he has something to say.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. It was a wonderful meeting. I think we have certain guests who didn't have a chance to give us their feedback. We have DTM Shekhar Tiwari, we have Mr. Emmanuel, we have Aji Joshua. It would be great to listen from them as well as to how they felt about our meeting. Yes, DTM Shekhar.
No, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, it was wonderful. Like actually, I missed the first part because today Toastmaster Dr. Shanti was in the afternoon meeting also. So I was thinking that it is one meeting, so I missed that one part and but I started with the table topics when I came home, and then I was in the office actually. I came home, then I saw that that meeting room is open and it is around 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock, I think. Then I saw that it was before that. So then I joined now. So after table topic, it was wonderful. All the speakers spoke well with the innovative, very, very good topics, and the even evaluation by DTM Elna, it was wonderful. So the meeting overall, I feel that it was wonderful, the starting, because when workshop presentation by Dr. Shanti is really wonderful. Actually, she's a very good speaker, and all the speakers are very good in this club. So I missed that part. Overall, I'm thankful to you for inviting me. Congratulations once again for this wonderful meeting. Back to you, sir.
Thank you. Hi, Aji, thank you for joining from Bahrain. How was our meeting? Could you give us a short feedback? Aji?
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so proud. I came to the meeting through the invitation of Harish. He's my junior in college, Trivandrum College of Engineering, Trivandrum, and he was the member of our club, Keen 4 Club in Bahrain before he moved to Saudi. Right now, I'm in US. I'm on a visit, and it was really fantastic to attend your meeting. But unfortunately, there was some connection problem. In between, I missed something. And in the beginning also, there was some connection problem, but I loved that moments of truth, what she presented, how to get the members, how to retain the members. In fact, I have saved the screen for the graph because I couldn't get it so fast. Because right when I started, it was that one. So I have to go through it, but that presentation was really wonderful. It is a must every club should do. Right now, I'm the member of a Toastmasters club, but we just do debates. We have 1 week for debate and 1 week for educational session. This week, we have our educational session, and it falls on Monday evening. I welcome you all to attend for that one. Because first week of the month, we have a debate, because ours is the only English speaking debate club in Bahrain. I welcome you all to our meetings as well. I will send the link to Harish, and hopefully he will forward it to you. Thank you so much, Harish, and all the members. Your club is wonderful.
Thank you, Aji. I will surely invite the members, and I will myself try to attend as much as possible. Mr. Emmanuel, I think he's attending a Toastmasters meeting probably for the first time. Mr. Emmanuel, could you please? Yes, could you please share?
Good evening, all.
Yeah.
Good evening. This is the first meeting I was attending in the Toastmaster. Very informative and very good to see you all. Nothing much to say because I don't know what is the nature of this program. So I just studied on it, and then next meeting I will be say something more.
Thank you. This is a self-study, self-paced study. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Yeah. Actually, yeah, thanks. Our presiding officer, Ravi Nair, has done a wonderful job today. Dear all, doesn't he deserve a very big round of applause? Please, with that, over to dear Ravi.
Now, Is there anything left for anybody?
Yes, presiding officer,
and
we need to talk about our Smartly Champion quiz, which is coming on 22nd of October actually. So President, can you give an introduction, or myself we need to take part?
Better you yourself, Shiva.
Okay, dear all, you are all aware about the Division D and L jointly conducting the Jubilees Medley Champions Quiz 2021 on 22nd of October. That is coming Friday. Our yours truly and Toastmasters Manoj Kumar is as participants, and DTM Elna is one of the rapid quiz master, and DTM Shibu Savior is a coach of this program. So please, already our divisional director already shared the link, and it is already, and our area director also shared all the links to this our WhatsApp groups. So please do register and encourage all of us actually. So we are all know that participation is more important. Just winning is just a consequence. So please participate and register yourself. All of them should be there, especially from Periyarian point of view. Thank you. That's all. And today we missed the Birdmaster report. Shall I?
Sorry, it's.
This is required.
Yes, it's required. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is the spirit of Toastmastering. I am so fortunate that today many Toastmasters use the word of the day. I will repeat as Toastmaster Rajesh initially. Toastmaster Hari Kumar 2 times. The word was sagacious. Toastmaster Sabu Cletus 2 times. Toastmaster Manoj C. Nair 1 time, and Toastmaster Ravi Nair. I think I not missed anyone rather than this actually. And I could see so many words actually. I noted down little. Unwavering faith, confront the most brutal fact, emotional maturities, survival mechanism, so many good usages. And TTM Harish, I'm so impressed that love, affections, and caring can do wonders rather than medical, because I personally experienced with my 25-day stay with my late father. But I know personally, now I understand that this love and caring, how important in our day-to-day life. So thank you so much for recollecting that feelings again. And Toastmaster Rajesh is a new way. I liked very much the way handle the entire Toastmaster of the day, looking into a book actually. So at least I try to say the name of the author. So it's very impressive. And Dr. Shanti Rekha, thank you so much for again thinking about our first impression of Toastmasters. Overall, I loved some unwanted usage. I think rather than timers, we can use timer report, something like that. It's all simply matters. So please register yourselves for our Smartly Quiz Champions, because lot of efforts are there, is there for the organizing team. So be there on next Friday and motivate all of us. Thank you so much. Back to the presiding officer.
Thank you, DTM Shivadas. See how dedicated Toastmasters we have in Periyar. I feel blessed to work with them and to conduct the meeting. It feels so easy with this dedicated Toastmasters. Thank you so much. You came up with the report just before closing, just seconds before closing. Okay. Is there anything else to discuss? Okay. Having none, I announce this meeting as adjourned.